Imagine it's 1995. You're sitting in front of a CRT television and for the first time, you see a pendulum swing across the screen. You don't know it yet, but you're about to travel from the dawn of time to the literal end of the world. You're about to witness a collaboration so massive, it was dubbed the Dream Team. A moment where the creators of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Dragon Ball decided to stop competing and start revolutionizing. We are taking a deep dive into one of the greatest RPGs ever made on This Week in Video Game History. Welcome back to another episode of This Week in Video Game History. I'm your host, Doug Coleman. And on this show, we shine the light of love on games gone by. This week, we are diving into the powerhouse window of March 9th through the 15th. From arcade legends that were technically unauthorized, to the swan songs of the greatest console ever made, this week is packed. So settle in, grab your controller, and press start to continue. We are starting this week by talking about some great games that came out this week. We're jumping from arcade classics of 1982 to modern classics found in 2015. So buckle up, let's get to the timeline. We start this week with the Queen of the Arcades, Ms. Pac-Man, launched on March 11th, 1982. Did you know Ms. Pac-Man started out as an enhancement kit called Crazy Otto? A group of guys at General Computer Corp made it without Namco's permission. Midway bought it because they were tired of waiting for a sequel. It ended up being better, faster, and more iconic than the original. Talk about a glow-up. March 9th, 1996 brought us the final Mario masterpiece on the SNES. It was the last time Square and Nintendo played nice for a long time. It used those beautiful pre-rendered 3D graphics that made the SNES look like a mini workstation. It gave us Geno, Mallow, and a Bowser that actually had a personality. It was a true 16-bit curtain call. Jump ahead to March 11th, 2014. Titanfall released on the Xbox One. Respawn Entertainment, the folks who basically built Modern Warfare, decided they wanted to make us feel like pilots again. March 11th was the day the Titans fell. It changed the movement shooter forever. If you've enjoyed Apex Legends, you owe a debt of gratitude to this game's wall running and double jumping.
Armed with the strength of revenge and the blades of chaos, Kratos slayed Ares.
March 13th, 2007. The PS3 had been out for 4 months. Everyone was talking about the future. And then Sony Santa Monica drops God of War 2 on the PlayStation 2. It was a bold move, releasing a massive AAA sequel on a dead system. But it worked. It looked better than most early PS3 titles and proved that the PS2 still had some god-killing power left in the tank. Going back to March 11th, 2015, Ori and the Blind Forest launched globally, switching gears to something beautiful but punishing. Don't let the hand-painted art and cute sprite fool you. This game will break your heart and break your controller with its Ginso Tree escape sequence. It is a masterclass on Metroidvania design.
all you remember is dead.
Finally, March 12th, 2013, Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm was released. The Zerg took over the world. Heart of the Swarm dropped, continuing Kerrigan's story and peak-era global esports. Whether you were a pro or just someone who liked clicking on space bugs, this expansion was the height of Blizzard's RTS dominance. About the Dream Team. In 1992, three men took a trip to the United States to see what was happening with computer graphics. You had Hironobu Sakaguchi, the father of Final Fantasy, Yuri Horii, the creator of Dragon Quest, and Akira Toriyama, the artist behind Dragon Ball. Normally, these guys were rivals, but on that trip, they realized that if they combined their superpowers, they could create the ultimate RPG. What made Chrono Trigger legendary wasn't just the time travel, it was the polish. In 1995, most RPGs took you to a separate black screen for battles, not Chrono. Enemies were on the map. You walked up, the music shifted, and you fought right there. It kept the momentum going. And the multiple endings? There were over a dozen. It invited you to play again and again and again to see how your choices in the prehistoric era affected the literal end of days in 1999. And we have to talk about Yoshinori Mitsuda. He was a sound programmer who was tired of being in the shadows. He told Sakaguchi, "Let me compose or I quit." He spent the next year working so hard he literally gave himself stomach ulcers. He would wake up in the middle of the night, humming melodies like 600 AD and Quarters of Time. He eventually fainted in the studio and was hospitalized. Nobuo Uematsu, the legend himself, had to step in to finish the last 10 tracks. That's the level of passion that went into every note of this game. As we sit here in 2026, 31 years later, we are still feeling the ripples. From the 30th anniversary vinyl sets to the rumors of the HD 2D remake, Chrono Trigger remains the gold standard because it respected the player's time. It wasn't 100 hours of fluff. It was 25 hours of pure, unadulterated magic. That covers our journey through the second week of March. Whether you are racing through time with Chrono, dropping Titans on the frontier, or showing the PS2 some love, remember that every game you play today stands on the shoulders of these giants. Next week will be another pixelating episode. We've got the arcade classics getting ported to consoles, instant classics making their debuts on the NES, and the showcase of how a jukebox repair and rental company would go on to create some of the biggest franchises of all time. Don't forget to save your game, and I'll see you next week.